Welcome to the Men's Collective podcast. In this space, we keep the conversations real, inspiring, and challenging you to become the man you are destined to be. Your family needs you to be better. Your friends need you to be better. We need you to be better. We are your hosts, the Average Joes. Joe, it's great to meet you, mate.
It's great to meet you. So are you all called Joe?
You're an above average Joe, we like to call you.
Yeah, but are you all called Joe?
What's that, sorry?
Are you all called Joe?
No, God, no. We're not that lucky.
Okay, then.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, mate. We know you're a busy man, and so we really do appreciate you taking the time out to join us today.
It's a pleasure, it really is, yes. Carry on.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about ourselves just so you can understand where our questions will be coming from. We're a men's movement based here in Australia, but we have started to tap into other countries. Our focus is all about becoming better men. So the content that we create, the topics that we have are all about us as men becoming better in our communities, our families and society and things like that. So the questions we have for you today are going to be focused around that. So just, be ready for those, mate. They're going to be pretty hard. No, they're not. We're just joking.
That's okay.
I'm just going to really quickly give our audience a bit of a dot point on who you are and what you're about. But your grandfather, Joseph William Foster, founded JW & Sons, which is the pioneer in the world's first spiked running shoe. You yourself joined the family business at 17, briefly leaving for 2 years and coming back where you did remain. You co-founded Reebok, which personally is one of the greatest brands in my eyes, and I'm sure the world agrees, with your older brother, later then absorbing JW Foster Company into Reebok. You focused your business on women's marketing further down the track, making Reebok the top shoe company globally, surpassing little-known brands such as Nike and Adidas. You created the iconic shoe, which, in my personal opinion, the greatest shoe ever on the planet, which is the Reebok pumps. You left the company at 53, sold it to Adidas in 2005 for a measly $3.8 billion. Reebok's value then soared from $9 million to $900 million in the 80s. Mate, that's just the start. So, look, basically what I'm saying, mate, is you're an amazing man, done amazing things. We're really glad to have you here.
Well, when I sold the company, we didn't have computers. That means we didn't have Zoom. We didn't have smartphones. So everything I had to do prior to that was flying. So I flew in and out. But I stepped back. I didn't really retire. I stepped back from Reebok, enjoying myself in Tenerife, which is an island off Africa, nice, warm, sunny. And then we got computers. And then we got Google. Then we got Wikipedia. And they started telling me how Reebok started. And of course, it was all invention. So that inspired me to write my book. And I wrote it to put the story straight. But the reality is that somebody told me, "Oh, Joe, that's a business book." So from then on, we've been chasing around with invitations to talk about the book and talk about Reebok, which is what we're doing today. So that's where we still are. And let me see now, in 2 days' time, Saturday, I'm 89.
Wow. So life's just begun, you're saying?
That's right. And we're down in Australia in about 4 weeks' time.
I'll be seeing you there, actually. I'm a part of that event, so I'll be seeing you there in person. You can bring a pair of Reebok pumps and I might sign them for you if you... Another question for you, mate. Men traditionally are the providers for their families. In saying this, do you think that this encourages men to take more risks or less risks in business? And why do you think?
I think it's probably in your genes or your attitude towards life as to whether you take risks. If you're an entrepreneur, you take risks. If you're not, if you're a bit of a pessimist, you've got to be an optimist. And if you're optimistic, you do take those chances. So do men take more chances than women? I think historically maybe, but I think right now that women are catching up and they're starting to realize that they can do a lot of things out there. When we came up with aerobics, and yes, women, we actually pivoted from being a running company into a woman's fitness company. And it took us from 9 million to 900 million in 4 years. So, yeah, I believe women are enjoying life right now. And my wife, Julie, she just tells me where to go and I go.
You have one of those too. We all have one of those people. Miguel, what do you have, bud?
Mr. Foster, appreciate being able to spend this time with you, sir. So my question for you is, business and personal relationships can often challenge us for our attention, dedication, and time. I've read some of your history with your grandfather, your father, and yourself. All had more than one marriage. What did you guys realise you needed to change in your balance for family, personal, and business success?
Well, I think that if you're in business, you recognize that if you are the breadwinner, that you have to respond. If something happens, you have to respond. And for me, to go global, I couldn't do it with Zoom. I had to do it on a plane. So maybe once every other week, I was flying somewhere, and I used to go around the world 3 times a year. So you need a partner who can either accept that or join you and do it with you. And Julie does that now. We work together. If anybody wants me, 2 tickets, please. That's it. Not one. So we go together. And I think that really, to be successful both domestically and have a nice home life and a good business, you need that support. And I wish I'd have had that support a bit earlier, but it came in the end, and Julie's great. Unfortunately, my first wife, she didn't like traveling, even though I wanted her to travel on so many occasions. And if you've read my book, you will realize she did travel on one occasion, and that was down to Australia, of all places. But we did have an event in South Korea, which was rather interesting. But you need to read, no, it was in Japan, the event. I traveled so many places, I forget where they are, but yeah, in Japan, our guest took us to a nice evening out, and the entertainment was strippers. And you can imagine, my wife didn't particularly think that was interesting. She accused me of, so this is what you do when you're traveling. And of course, it isn't, but on that occasion it was.
Yeah. So I just picked up on that real quick, Joe. So your trip to Australia with your wife, you're blaming Australia for that one, are you?
No. It's, we have friends down in Australia, so it was a good thing. She accepted, she'll travel because we have friends, so that was good.
Great. Jamie,
Okay.
what you got, bud?
So Joe, Jamie, nice to meet you, mate, and thanks for coming on. So over the years, you've had a lot of challenges, as we mentioned, divorce, distributor issues, having to let go of large portions of your staff, dealing with family in business and in a successful way and in unsuccessful ways. What would you say to the guys out there about how to deal and take on challenges?
Well, what we develop with challenges is that these are opportunities. And so, we had to change our name, we had to change our silhouette, we had all sorts of things. And, you mentioned divorce. Well, it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to have fun. You need to have fun if you're in business. You need to have fun. If you're living with a family, it needs to be fun. If it isn't fun, you shouldn't be there, whether it's business or whether it's family. So, my advice is make sure that you're enjoying life. And if you pick the wrong partner, I'm sure the two of you can agree on what to do about that. But all I can say is have fun in business. That's what we did, and we enjoyed it. And maybe my first wife didn't like the idea I was enjoying life so much. I don't know, but nothing wrong with my wife. Unfortunately, I got into the business, and the business took me many places with many stories. And, I don't know if you guys travel, but if you've gone out and you travel for 2 weeks and you come back and all you get is, you're back. And, you want to share that fun. And I think that's the biggest thing about in business, share the opportunities, make people part of your life. And the same with your family. If you can have them share with you, then you can be successful, and it will be good, and you'll enjoy life.
That's a really good point, Joe. We're 3 of us here are married, and I think that to tying that together, definitely fun has a massive, huge impact on and contributes a lot to business. But to be able to have your wife as your partner as well in the support and things like that, because I travel a bit for work, and I know, McGill, you travel a bit for work too. It definitely makes a part to come home and be appreciated when you come home. We talk about this quite often. Joe, another question. In Australia, 20% of businesses fail in the first year and 60% in the first 3 years. 65% of those failing businesses are owned by men. Why do you think the failure rate is so high?
Well, again, we talk about having fun. We talk about concentrating and being able to concentrate on the business, to share that business, to share, have those conversations with your partners, whoever they are. If it's your family, it's good to do that. But I think one of the reasons they fail is that I guess you've got to be a little stupid. You've got to be able to keep going when it's tough. You've got to want to do that. You've got to say, okay. And as we talk about, when you get the problems, we got a problem. We couldn't use the name we started with. We started with Mercury. And that was probably our first lesson. We ended up with Reebok. And again, if you've read the book, you'll find there's a story in there. And it's a fun story, which takes us back to war years, 1930, 1943, when I'm 8 years old and I won a dictionary. And I found Reebok in the dictionary. And that was in 1960. Wow. So, there's a lot of stories. And I think that, again, as a man, well, for me, I can be alone. I don't mind doing that. But really, I find the energy comes when you have a partner, when you have somebody to work with, and you can share the problems, and you can share everything. That is so much, is so good. So failures, maybe they didn't work out the problems. Maybe they didn't really think what business they're going into and really get down to the bottom to be the number one, because you have to learn. My brother and myself, we went to college before we left the business. Even though we were making shoes, we went to college to learn about footwear, about shoes, about leather, and learn about the business and how to run a business. Fortunately, we've both been in national service, so we got a bit of discipline there. And I think that's another thing, discipline. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to be able to know that this is work. Let's get on with it. Let's do it right. And ask all the questions, answer all the problems. And as I say, look at a problem as though it's an opportunity. And that opportunity, once you develop that that way of looking at problems, I think you find that it's fun. Even the problems become fun. And again, in the book, as 1 or 2 fun times when we had problems, but let's say opportunities, and look and have fun.
Well, you've mentioned fun quite a few times, and I think that's probably one of the things that's overlooked quite a lot when you think of business, because we think of business as stress and goal-driven and all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, from such a successful man as Joe here, like, I'm going to take your advice, man. I'm going to make business fun. Well, I will say one thing before you go, mate. I did actually order your book today. That's the How to Thrive and Survive book.
Well, that's the second one. The first one is
Shoemaker. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I did see a Shoemaker. I ordered the one today, How to Thrive and Survive. So looking forward to reading it. But Joe, we really, really appreciate it. We know you're short of time there, so we really appreciate having you on today. You're making the time to be a part of us. I'm sure the men out there are going to get a lot of value as where we take this. So once again, mate, we really, really appreciate it, gentlemen.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting up with you. Are you in Melbourne or Sydney?
I'll be in the Brisbane one.
Be in the Brisbane one. Oh, that's the warm one.
Yep. That's the good one. Bring your swimmers in a towel, mate. We've got you covered.
We're looking forward to Brisbane.
Yeah, we're on the Sunshine Coast, so if you ever want to stop into the podcast room,
we've got a seat here for you, mate. Right here.
Yeah, you'll have to invite us. Have a word with Julie when we're over. We'll see what we can do.
Good. Done. Lock it
Awesome.
in.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks once again, buddy.
Thank you. It's been
Thanks,
fun.
mate.